Oh my goodness. Take 3 on episode 165. Digital Ramblers, welcome back. And Mr. Kris Campbell, how you doing,
I'm doing really well, and you've revealed the secrets behind the scene. Yeah, take 3, trying out some new software for the podcast. So you might see
Rip
a
the
slight
Band-Aid
difference
off.
to the video. Yeah, so we're going for a Tuesday night recording outside of our normal Monday night routine, but we're improving, we're learning, we're trying to use this new platform, and big
Some of
thumbs
us
up
are
so
slow
far.
learners. Some of
Yeah.
us are slow learners.
Ah.
Carry on.
Always be hardwired, JJ. Yeah,
Yes.
episode 165, take 3. And JJ and I this week, we're going to talk about projects that our own businesses are involved with in the past and in the future. We're going to shine the spotlight in a nice, concise way, what we've been up to, and then what we've got coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, Kris. This is something that people ask us about. I mean, honestly, we're in homes regular conversation about the past experiences that we've had in clients' homes. And today we're going to talk exactly about that. Some projects that we have completed, high level projects actually that we've completed, and some of those clients that are teed up waiting for that experience there in their home. So, yeah, episode 165, ready to kick it off. And for those that don't know and that are new to the show, I'm JJ Cannon here in Houston, Texas. DigitalDelight.com is where you can find us. We focus on designs that are less is more, less boxes, less wires, more reliability, easier to use. If that's something that you're looking for, stay tuned and listen, because we talk about those types of solutions all day long.
Yeah, and I'm JJ's co-host over here in the UK, Kris Gamble from Customised. We specialised in kind of rinse and repeat installations. I'm not going to sugarcoat it too much, and we'll talk about it in the projects, but we stick to a close circle of products. We execute it very, very highly to, exceeding the customer standards often. And you can find us at customised.uk.com. Who's going to go first, JJ? Whose project do you want to talk about first?
Go ahead. You lead into this one, Kris.
Okay, past project came with a very loose brief, which was, I want to turn all my lights off with one button press when I leave the house. They'd obviously read the headline feature of any lighting system, that they want an all-off function. That is only truly possible with a lighting control system. So we directed them into the world of Lutron, which we're big advocates of and highly experienced with. Did the obligatory trip to the showroom in London, to the Experience Centre, gave them the choices of a wired or wireless system in its architecture, and they chose the more premium priced Homeworks system because they fell in love with the keypads, the Palladium keypads. And take some notes when you're hearing this. Those are the pointers. If you're researching lighting control, Palladium keypads sound good. Oh, there's wired or wireless. The wireless system being the RA2 Select system here in the UK, and the wired system being the Homeworks QS system. From that initial discussion, we built out a proposal, tuned into the rest of the team, the architects, the interior designers, the construction team. We endeavor to be a vital part of that bigger team. Lend our experience, lend our technical data that we need to share with them, because they're going to ask, how big is it? Where is it going? What's the requirements for power? What's requirements for ventilation? When it's one of these more complicated systems, you have to be ready to be scrutinized by the rest of the team. That's fine. We're used to it. We've been doing this many years. But as always, with an inquiry for a lighting system, they're then exposed to the shades side of Lutron. So we then incorporated. So lighting, I think we're about 85 circuits. Shades, 28 shades in total going into this project. That ticked all the Lutron boxes. Then, of course, we want a network. We want security coverage with cameras. We want background music. All the almost prerequisites of a not luxury high end, but your nicer house in the street. Good finish. 6-figure kitchen, that type of scenario. And that project took about a year. We had to fit in with the schedule, prepare all the wiring, deal with all the wiring when the windows were in. I'd call that wind and watertight, the building. Start to enable these systems, start to get internet connected to the home, start to configure it, and ultimately hand over various applications for music, security, lighting, and spend a lot of time, and we put a lot of importance into this. We spend a lot of time with our handover, and we do follow-up handovers. And in fact, tomorrow, I'm doing my 12-week meeting with them. So I've already done my 6-week follow-up, and now we're going into the 12-week follow-up, just to make sure things are performing, but ultimately, is it performing to their expectations, and are they making the most of it?
Wow, Kris, that is a lot of needs that a client has for designing the correct lighting system for that type of a home. And it sounds like by calling on a home technology professional and you understanding the availability of solutions, you're able to show them the appropriate type of lighting solutions that are available, but also create awareness and understanding of other technologies such as window treatments there for the home, as well as the follow through of understanding the need for appropriate measurements, as well as the appropriate dimmers or switches that are needed for the correct loads, and loads being lights that are in the ceiling, or maybe they're lamps. Or I mean, one of the things that I see on your Instagram, Kris, that is fantastic is just the reflective lighting, and working with designers and architects is what I'm hearing you say. And that collaboration is necessary to find success in a project like this. Do you feel that clients completely understand the full detail, like these clients, from the beginning to the end? Do you feel that they are completely from the start aware of the need of it, to where they are now at the end of understanding the need of it? Do you see a difference there?
Yeah, I see a big change in their knowledge throughout the project. They're very cautious initially, then they're wowed, then it can be dialed back based on budget discussions. Then there's an expectation building up. So even if you've reduced the budget, the expectation doesn't lower, because they remember that visit to the Lutron showroom. They remember that visit to another property that we took them to.
Yeah.
So that's building the whole time. Then when you're starting to present it to them, they're a bit overwhelmed. I actually find this is why we do the follow-ups. They're overloaded from other trades as well. How to function the windows, how to function the heating, how to function the air conditioning, how to use the security system, for example. So they're overloaded. That's why we do the follow-ups. We don't desert them. But once they've lived in the space for a while, that's when the appreciation starts to rise again. They're grateful for the detail and the patience you had throughout, and probably don't understand what went on behind the scenes, because that was crucial for it to work.
That's honestly the best compliment, is the frictionless. Honestly, that's something that as installers, as business owners, we understand is how smooth or how rough it could be, and how smooth we actually make the experience. Because that's what we're about. Whenever I was younger in the industry, it was, they discussed creating an experience. And I always thought like a pirate's, room, or, something that was like a football stadium, that kind of
Sure.
experience. And no, I mean, that's part of it, but no. Our industry is about an experience from whenever we hit the door, to whenever we're out the door, and everything in between, and it's, for us, we had a job, and we have jobs, and probably one of our most common jobs. Let me go with that, Gamble. One of our most common jobs is a client that we have built that trusted advisor, that trusted
Relationship.
advisor relationship with them, and they're moving into another home, and they're ready for another solution, and it's usually a very straightforward solution: a nice television, a good quality audio experience, sound throughout the rest of the property, as security, a sense of comfort, in their environment. Lighting is huge for that security experience. And once you experience lighting in general, it's usually always part of the next home. And so television over the fireplace is one of our most common installations. We have a really nice sound bar below it, and it's a nice television as well, because with that, less is more allows you to focus in quality of those less devices. So invest in a really nice quality television. Invest in a good quality sound bar. So we're doing, nice high-end model displays. We're doing a Sonos Art sound bar, and with those sound bars, it has everything built into it: streaming music, voice control via Sonos, and other voice control services. Connectivity is straightforward, as well as maximized with the least amount of cabling. I had a client call us the other day and wanted to try a different experience, a more traditional experience. And I was trying to communicate to her the challenges that go with that more traditional experience of wires and heat and dust and bleh. We can go away from that. It's, the less is more. A subwoofer in the corner, some speakers in the ceiling, paired with your sound bar, and a streaming solution versus something that is connected with your traditional cable boxes. I like streaming because I have multiple locations that I like watching my my services on, like my phone, anywhere, at any time, when I want. I like that freedom, that decentralized freedom. We're going to talk a lot about more decentralization as we go on, but yeah, man, I those are probably our most provided solutions for our clients, and that's for new clients, but especially for our repeat clients. That's their go-to.
Okay, so when I describe my project, people should picture that there was a lot of equipment in one location. So there was lighting panels which took up, 2.5 meters high by 1.2 meters wide. Then there was an area for the network and the audiovisual equipment that probably took up 1 meter wide by 800 millimeters high. You mentioned a kind of decentralization, and I've heard you talk before about system local. So are you having less equipment in one space? Obviously, sound bars don't need another amplifier, but there is an amp for the rear speakers. Are you concentrating that equipment in one space or in multiple rooms?
Yeah, absolutely, a great question. And we are decentralizing what has traditionally become a rack room where everything is centrally located. And we did that for a very good reason. Uh, I have a story that I share with my clients that we installed a rack system and a matrix that allowed us to put plug a device into it and distribute this one device across 10 TVs. And it sounds fantastic in theory. But whenever you have technology improving over time, not all devices improve at the same time. And when that happens, it really puts, designers in a pinch, whenever we're designing systems at a very high value. And we got, you know, we were made aware that some of these systems were improving at different rates, and clients were not happy with that. And I'm not happy at not making, our clients happy. And so we started looking at alternative solutions. And what that was instead of everything being relied upon one device, how about just create nice and tight boutiques, silos, system local. So each system is locally located in its room. And so if you had one go down, the rest of the house is still operational. Versus if everything is centralized, if one of those items go down, your entire house is out. To me, that's not, the latter is not a good option. And we found a lot of pain with that. And so that really started having us look in different directions and turning our ship in a different way. And we found a lot of success with that. A lot of clients were much more happier with that.
Yeah, and that was an obvious direction to go, because even just taking the soundbar and wireless sub as an example, they're active. They don't need an amplifier, so you've freed up instantly, some shelf space in a rack. And traditionally there might have been 3, 4, 5 of these audiovisual receivers, which are huge, chunky devices, heavy. They need substantial racking to hold them.
And hot
energy,
hot electricity,
unfriendly interface. I went to a customer today with a Sonos soundbar, sub, 2 rear speakers on an amp, and just showed them like 2 settings. You've got, night mode for lowering the bass tones for not unsettling other people in the house late at night. And then you've got speech enhancement for when you want that clearer, more narrowed audio dialogue from a program or movie. And that was the 2 features. So you've got volume and you've got these two features in the app. In contrast to an audiovisual receiver, that's wildly different.
Yeah, absolutely. And adopting that thought years ago was definitely a unique direction. And whenever it first came out, even myself as an integrator was like, what does this mean for the industry? And honestly, it actually means improvement, if you ask me. Now, I'm not saying there's not a time and a place for a receiver. I mean, if we're talking theater, let's go. We can make that thing sound amazing. But in your living room, I don't know if that's the right choice. I mean, maybe for some.
No, and choice is ultimately with the client, and we're there to guide them. And other installers, integrators will have other options for them. And I always encourage you to speak to multiple home technology pros for your project. We've endorsed that from episode 1, where we've said, go out, speak to people in this industry, speak to people who have a smart home. What do they love? What do they hate? What would they change? Seek out the brands and seek out YouTube videos and podcasts, that talk about it, because it's an emerging market. You're going to live a standard with a smart home in the future, but that might be something that you don't like living with, or you love it. So just review the market, keep an eye out on what's happening, and then also what's disappearing. What are things that are yesterday's tech?
Gamble, we have a client that we're proposing, and I'm really excited at this particular project. And this gentleman is redoing his backyard. He's got a new pool going in, and he's taking out the grass and he's putting turf back there. And a couple of things I enjoy doing. One is refacing, or it's turning something that is good into something that's amazing. I like turf in the backyard. It just gives a very nice polished look. And I also like collaborating with different contractors and working alongside. He's putting in new turf. We're looking at putting in some Amazonic baller speakers from Origin Acoustic, and we're throwing their DSP amplifier on there, and a Sonos port, and some from their phone or from a Lutron keypad. This gentleman will be able to control his music for his bollards that we're going to evenly distribute around his backyard. On one side of his backyard, he has like a little soccer net set up so he and his kiddos can practice, their soccer, and put some music over there for him. And then on the other area, he's got his swimming pool area. And then he was talking about doing his fire pit. And I was talking to Taylor, and Taylor was telling me, JJ, remember that fire pit that we saw over at Cedia? And I was like, yeah, I certainly do. He's like, you should suggest that magnet to him. So Taylor was over there yesterday, and that's exactly what he did. And the client's like, all ears. Yeah, all ears. And so what the Magna fire pit is, yeah, if you listen to a couple of episodes, we went into a little detail about it, but it's a fire pit. But not only is it a fire pit, I like multi-purpose. Less is more. This is all in the whole less is more. Like, how can we get multi-functioning out of something? And you love this too, Gamble. So it's a fire pit, but not only is it a fire pit, but it has a full integrated sound system into the pedestal of this piece, where it has subwoofers and speakers, and you can connect it to a streaming device like Sonos. And so it allows you to integrate multiple systems into one nice, uniform, like amazingly sounding system. Not only does this Magna has a fire pit, and here, I mean, let's be real. In Texas, we only have like maybe a month or 2 months of cool enough weather. So during the warm time, you can take the fire pit out, put some ice in there, so you can keep your cool beverages nice and cool and still chill out with some good vibes and some good music. So yeah, I think that's one project that we got coming, that we're proposing, that we're super excited about. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. He's definitely doing the backyard, so he needs some ambisonic sound. I think we're going to do some Magna too.
What you've described there for our audience, there's nothing else to describe it except high performance audio output. You're going to have a sound system there that's going to have all members of the family excited. They're going to want to show their friends. Their neighbors are going to love it, then probably hate it.
Well, they won't go home. To the parties. That is one downside, is that they won't leave.
You've got to befriend your neighbors. You've got to be on good terms with those guys. But you talked about that before, about the speakers having not 360. Yes, the fire pit does, but the speakers had like a 180-degree sound field.
And on the fire pit, you can design that fire pit accordingly.
Okay.
As well. But on the bollards, and so what a bollard is that they come in a variety of different sizes. You have them in an 8-inch subwoofer, 10-inch, or a 12-inch subwoofer, or even larger, but not self-contained. It would be a separate larger subwoofer. And this subwoofer is you dig a hole and you drop it in and you bury it into the ground, and then out of that subwoofer you have a tower coming out of it. Man, I got one here. I got one right there, and it has a tower coming out of it, and on the top of it, you have fins that can direct it. And either it can be a 360-degree distribution of the highs and mids and low frequencies. I mean, just fantastic, and it has ribbon tweeters on there, and so it just sounds amazing. And on these, we have 180 degrees because we don't want to blast everybody. We want to make sure it's directional and just going to the areas that we want to manage that audio.
Awesome. So project that's coming up for me, I should probably start with like that scrolling text where in a galaxy far, far away, and then yeah. So Star Wars is the theme. Tune in for this description. So a long-term customer, we did some Wi-Fi work for his house, and I didn't know at the bottom of his garden he had a workshop where he was making cool products, and he asked, can I get a network connection down to the workshop and Wi-Fi down there. Let me come and show you what's down there. So open the door, 3D printers buzzing away, a hive of activity, products, sky high in racking. I'd gone into a workshop making lightsabers, and not just cheap plastic ones for Toys R Us, ultra high-end, custom, high-quality lightsabers for the Star Wars enthusiast, possibly even for the movie industry, for the press, for magazines. These are totally custom built, almost one-off style lightsabers. This guy's business has expanded now that he needs a lightsaber factory, warehouse, storage facility that has studio space, loading bays, yards and yards of racking. So he said, Kris, we need that Wi-Fi, and we need security. We need cameras in this facility. So we've gone in with a wiring scheme at this facility, Cat6 throughout. In fact, Cat6 foil, UTP cabling throughout, nice centralized equipment rack for all that data cabling. Then we've got UniFi network switches, all running and capable of 10 gig network speeds. Then we've got the UniFi Dream Machine Pro SE, Pro Max SE. Then we've got the UniFi Network Video Recorder, 32 terabytes of storage for what's initially going to be 18 cameras. And that's a mixture of indoor, outdoor, and a couple of the Ring doorbells, one up at the gate, one at the main entrance. Cameras covering every room so that from when you're away, you can monitor the comings and goings. And then again, blasted that place with great Wi-Fi, with the access points positioned exactly where they need to be to give a main network, a guest network, and also a Wi-Fi network for the building services.
That sounds like a lot. But how do you manage it all? Like, how does the client enjoy that experience? Like, what I'm hearing is this guy is next level artist that's making a fantastic piece of, I don't know, tooling. Does it actually like, or like,
It does
what
the
is this?
sound, the light effect. You can apply kind of a module to the unit so you can get that effect, but it's got an LED engine in it. It's got sound effects.
Do you hit
Let
with
me
it, or
see.
you just wait?
I think you could. Yeah, you could.
Uh-huh.
Whether you'd want to after the
Oh,
expense,
what?
but
Look at these features.
yeah, just let me find. So there's that's the one of the owners there. So that's Cal, and he works with his father Reza. You look at that. Can you see my
That is
screen?
amazing.
Yeah,
All right, hold on, I'm getting
that
old.
is something else.
Look at
Right,
that.
I'm in my pajamas, don't care, but got the merit sample.
Let's have a look at this.
Closes.
What?
Ready?
Oh, dude.
Bloody massive.
So we've been busy
Yeah,
working.
dude, that is a
What a
bit of a
cool place.
distraction. I don't know how much work I'd get done in that factory. All right, so this gentleman and his dad has a really cool company, and they are needing some security. And what I understood is that you have a lot of cameras and a network system. And how are they managing all this? Is this in an app, or is this like, how does this all work?
So yeah, we've chosen from the UniFi range of products with their network switches, their wireless access points, their network video recorders, their backup power supply solution they have, and then their products, cameras, doorbells, AI-driven cameras, indoor, outdoor versions of cameras. And the customer just lives with two apps, essentially. One that they'll use a lot because that's the app for the CCTV system where they can play back videos, create zones, motion detection areas, get alerts from some cameras and not others. They can have full night vision view of any of the rooms. We've got very good night vision features on all the cameras. And then for the network, they've got an app for that. I tend to give the customers just an overview of the dashboard where they can do speed testing, see if any devices are on or offline, see if there's an issue with the kind of capacity of the network, see which devices are the hungriest. So for them, it might be like the 3D printers. They could be heavy users, so they might try and limit them to certain times. And you can review all that statistics of which device, which access point, which camera was the most active.
Yeah, I think that's what with the devices and solutions that we're providing is that two-way understanding of what's happening. Just knowing that okay, it is working, or actually I have a problem. Like I can see it, and being able to have that understanding of what's going on in your environment is such a relief to homeowners as well as also integrators, because we can actually assist. There is something that we can visually understand with the information that's provided. What might be the direction we need to take, to find a solution. And so that's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, that's an ongoing project, so that might pop up in our social media. But what it will definitely pop up on is a vlog that Carl and his dad Reza, they do every couple of weeks. There's an update on the warehouse. You'll get that on their website or YouTube channel. Just search for KR Kilo Romeo Sabres, krsabres.com. Big shout out to them. They're fun people to work with.
I bet, man.
A lot of fun.
Well, all right. Episode 165. What's the title, Gamble?
In a galaxy far, far away.
All right. Episode 165. I think it's something like the smart. God, can we edit this? Like, I hope we can. I think we can.
Yeah.
So what did we have? We have it written down right there at the top of that thing. I can't see, but it's somewhere in there.
We have.
Go ahead.
Episode 165. That was inside our smart home project, what we've completed and what's coming next.
Rock and roll. All right, my friends. JJ Cannon, digitaldelight.com. If you need somebody, let us know.
And I've been Kris Gamble from Customised over in the UK, customised.uk.com.
All right. And if you want to learn more about the Digital Ramble, check us out at digitalrambleshow.com. You can also send us an email at digitalrambleshow@gmail.com. Check us out on Telegram. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And Spotify for that audio and video experience. Definitely tune in to see that lightsaber clip. That's on the video on YouTube and on Spotify.
All right, friends. If you don't know, find yourself a home tech pro. Pretty good.
Okay.
It says it's still recording there.